Well, I saw Spider-Man Far From Home. It was good. Thanks for watching. As a young boy, I had my Spider-Man phase. The Spider-Man animated series hit television, and I was all about it. This was like 1994, something like that. I dabbled into the comics a little bit, but back then I didn't have a whole lot of money, um, and I didn't really take very good care of my comic books that I got. They didn't like sell graphic novels that much at the time, and you had to go to the little comic book shops to get your comics. I was big into the Spider-Man cards, trading cards, not card game, trading cards. And my favorite character by far was Venom. Although I did like Spider-Man and I liked Green Goblin, and I liked Doc Ock and all of that. The Sam Raimi movies came out. I was all for it. I loved them. They were great. Tobey Mack as Peter Parker I thought was excellent. I thought William Dafoe as the Green Goblin was perfect. The tone of the movies fit the classic Spider-Man so well. I even like Spider-Man 3. I know a lot of people give that movie shit for its emo Peter and its sort of lackluster Venom, but I still enjoyed it. I think it was my buddy and I. We were the only two Americans in a movie theater in downtown Okinawa, and we were laughing the entire time. It was awesome. We were like the only people laughing in the theater. And the theater was packed too. So it was great. It was a great movie experience for me. The Amazing Spider-Man movie didn't do it for me at all. And I didn't even see the second Amazing Spider-Man movie. It looked bloated and just putrid and boring. So, yeah, didn't see that one. However, Homecoming, I was invested in because the Marvel Cinematic Universe going on. I haven't seen all of the movies of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm not the hugest fan. But I did see Civil War, and I liked Spider-Man's part in all that. And so, Homecoming came around. I went and saw it, and I liked it a lot. It was really good Spider-Man. So I was right there for Far From Home. Brought my boy to see Far From Home. My best friend from high school also brought his two girls. And my son fell asleep, which is a shame, because it's like one of the best movies ever. So Peter is the goofiest kid. he's so freaking goofy, especially around MJ and the girl he likes, which I see eye to eye with that completely. And he just wants to have sort of a time to have a normal life, especially after being disintegrated by the Infinity Gauntlet and Thanos snapping his fingers. He just wants to have a normal life, and he wants to date the girl that he likes, and he wants to hang out with his friends, and just wants to do school. So Nick Fury's calling him up, being like, "Yo, shit's whack," because there's some weird stuff going on. There's like these elemental monsters from a different dimension popping up all over the world, and he's like, "Yo, dude, Spider-Man, we need you. Everybody else is out. We need you." And he kind of blows off Nick Fury. He's like, "No, Doc. I'm just gonna go be a normal teenager. I was blipped out. I was blipped out for 5 years, getting my life back together here. All right." And his school's going on a field trip to Europe, so it's like a Euro trip with Spider-Man. So also the whole thing revolves sort of around these pair of glasses that Tony Stark left for Peter. Now keep in mind, I didn't even see Endgame, but I kind of already pieced together, what happened to who a little bit with little bits and pieces of spoilers here and there. So yeah, okay. So Tony left a pair of sunglasses for Peter, and Peter puts them on, and it turns out to be like an AI system that he can control this big satellite up in space. It has like an army of drones in there. It's up to him to use that wisely. He's sort of Tony's heir, not to Stark Industries, but just sort of his the next big hero. He's sort of the next Iron Man in a way. And Tony left that to him, but he doesn't feel like he deserves it. And the whole story is about a character named Mysterio who claims to be from the same dimension that these elementals came from, and he claims to be fighting these elementals. And his whole thing is he gets on Peter's good side. Peter trusts him a lot, and he sort of says, he's basically like, I can pick up the mantle here. I can hold the weight on my shoulders, Peter. You go and be a kid, right? Anyways, I don't want to get too into the spoilers or whatever, but if you're a Spider-Man fan, Mysterio ain't a hero. All right, and in the past, Mysterio was like a magician who would use illusions to trick the heroes. That was sort of his gimmick. That was his shtick. Was he uses tricks and illusions, and people don't know what's what, and he does that to rob a bank. A little different than this. A little higher stakes than just robbing a bank, and also not a magician in the strictest sense, but rather he uses technology to create illusions. And the elementals are illusions that he created in order to generate this story, that he's this hero from another dimension, and so on, so on, so on. It's really cool. And actually, was it Jake Gyllenhaal is Mysterio, and he does a great job. He's one of the favorite villains out of all the Spider-Man movies. I feel like he was awesome. And Tom Holland does Peter Parker. He's perfect. He's great. He's not to me, he's not on the same level as Tobey Mac, but he's really good. He's really good, Peter Parker. And the Spider-Man suit's cool. At one point, he has a stealth suit, and Peter's friend Ned calls him the Night Monkey, so that it's not mistaken to be Spider-Man, because people will be like, well, why is Spider-Man here in Europe, Ned's really funny. Aunt May is so fine. Marissa Tomei, she is so good looking. She is so fine. And her and Happy have a thing going on. That whole setup's kind of funny. There's a lot of good jokes in the movie. There's this one scene when they're in the airplane flying to Europe. Peter wants to get closer to MJ, and she's sitting next to this asshole that it seems like she kind of likes, or that guy's trying to get up on her. And Peter hatches this plan to sit closer to MJ because he says he asked Ned to tell the teacher that Peter's got allergies to perfume. And the teacher gets all riled up. And he moves everyone all around, but he doesn't move Peter close to MJ. He actually moves Peter right between the two teachers. And the other teacher the whole time, seeing all of the illusions and stuff, is chopping it up to witches. And he's like, oh, witches! We got witches up in here! So that's pretty funny. All the jokes surrounding the blip and stuff are also really good. It's pretty solid. It's a really fun, awesome movie. But the biggest awesome part, J.K. Simmons, the original J. Jonah Jameson from the Sam Raimi movies. Isn't that fucking awesome? And they made him out to be kind of like Alex Jones from so the Daily Bugle is kind of like InfoWars. And it's funny because, obviously, a lot of movies these days have a left-leaning edge. But in Spider-Man Far From Home, I personally didn't feel attacked or anything. And when they had JJ up as Alex Jones, I saw it almost as a compliment. JJ is so awesome. And so it was a really sweet ending credit scene and reveal. Also, the other ending credit scene is it turns out that Nick Fury and the girl that always follows him around, I don't know her name, sorry, are actually Skrulls. And then it cuts, and they're like, oh man, shit got way out of hand real fast there. Yeah, man, who would have known? It went way off the rails. And then they call up the real Nick Fury, who's out in space. And he's like lounging around on like a virtual beach or whatever, and he's like sipping some drink, and then he gets up and he's like, all right, everyone, back to work. And he's on like a scroll ship. There's a whole bunch of scrolls walking around, but they look like they are working. He was the only one lounging. So who is he talking to? And then what the fuck was he doing? Didn't really show what he was doing except just lounging. Is he on vacation or something? I didn't see Captain Marvel, so I don't know. But anyways, solid movie. Solid presentation from Tom Holland and Jake Gyllenhaal and J.K. Simmons. I even liked MJ this time around. I didn't really like her all that much in Homecoming. She was a little too edgy, and they made kind of like jokes to that, but they lightened her up a lot, and I appreciate that, and I liked her a lot more because of it. And the little the chit chat between her and Spider-Man when she finds out that Peter is Spider-Man is really funny. So yeah, I really liked it. It was a good movie. It's not Sam Raimi Spider-Man level, but it is a really good like Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. So yeah, it was great. It was great. Saw that when we were out, went out west for 2 weeks, and I liked it a lot. I liked it a lot. I look forward to seeing more Spider-Man. More Spider-Man in the future. It's a shame that they can't combine Venom and Spider-Man. Like Venom, they separated Venom and he's like his own thing. It's too bad they can't bring that back in and maybe do like a little reboot. Like, you know how like X-Men has Quicksilver and then Age of Ultron also had Quicksilver. Maybe they can get Venom in there and like still get Tom Hardy to play Venom, but it's not connected to the Venom movie. Like, if you can do that, that'd be alright. That'd be sweet. That'd be groovy. Alright. That's all I got. Deuce.